Have you seen the news? Have you seen the news? If you haven't, we're going to go over it. Holy smokes, what an announcement when the US was talking about really putting a focus on crypto. They've done it. They've done it. But Nate, bringing up kind of a funny point where we have people that are saying crypto is a scam. And the new SEC chairman saying that they're launching Project Crypto to modernize the security rules and regulations to enable America's financial markets to move on chain. So let's read through exactly what this is, but we obviously have a lot of thoughts of people saying, well, half of this is going to be on Ethereum. Does Solana have a perspective on it? I don't know if they've actually decided for sure it's going on to Ethereum, but remember earlier in the year, certain presidential children saying now's the time to stock up on ETH. Everybody was like, well, seems potentially this is the reason why. And I'm Tolly, good morning. Thank you so much for coming through early, as you do. So, holy sugar. Let's go through the announcement. Forging the future, America's leadership in the golden age of finance. Excuse me. So today I would like the world to go unnoticed that under my leadership, the SEC will not stand idly by and watch innovation develop overseas. While our capital markets remain stagnant, to achieve President Trump's vision of making America the crypto capital of the world, the SEC must holistically consider the potential benefits and risks of moving our markets from an off-chain environment to an on-chain one. We are at the threshold of a new era in the history of our markets. As I mentioned earlier, today I am announcing the launch of Project Crypto, a commission-wide initiative to modernize the security rules and regulations to enable America's financial markets to move on-chain. Just a few weeks ago, President Trump signed the Genius Act into law, ensuring that America will continue to lead in global payments with a gold standard stablecoin regulatory framework. Upon signing the Genius Act into law, I was pleased that President Trump endorsed the congressional efforts to pass crypto market structure legislation by the end of the year. I commend the House of Representatives for garnering such strong bipartisan support, and I look forward to working with the Senate as they build off the House's work and craft market structure legislation that future-proofs our markets against regulatory mischief, cementing the United States as the crypto capital of the world. Yesterday, the President's Working Group on Digital Asset Markets released the PWG report with clear recommendations for the SEC and other federal agencies to build a framework to maintain U.S. dominance in crypto asset markets. This report is the blueprint to make America first in blockchain and crypto technology. The President said last week that he wants, in quotes, the entire world running on the backbone of American technology. I stand ready to help get that job done. So to take a break for uno momento here, and then we'll finish the last two paragraphs. I've talked about Bill Noble before, and one of the big things that he's been bringing up almost every single one of his streams is American-made crypto. And a focus on that aspect because you can tell by the language in this how many, it's one of those take a drink every time it says American, right? So obviously it's going to look for other coins, technology that is specifically built in America or has deep connections there. So that'll be what's interesting here. That is why I'm launching Project Crypto and directing the SEC's policy divisions to work with the Crypto Task Force, led by Commissioner Pierce, to swiftly develop proposals to implement the PWG's recommendations. Project Crypto will help ensure that the United States remains the best place in the world to start a business, develop cutting-edge technologies, and participate in capital markets. We will reshore the crypto businesses that fled our country, particularly those that were crippled by the previous administration's regulatory regulation by Enforcement Crusade and Operation Choke Point 2.0. Whether an incumbent or a new entrant, the SEC welcomes all participants who are hungry to innovate. Just to reflect for a second, I genuinely went from somebody that was super interested in crypto to then feeling like, oh my God, we could get in massive legal trouble for just being involved in this. And there's all these narratives around criminals and stuff, which, every day we're in the Discords talking with all these people. We know that that's not the case, but there was this narrative that was pushed from mainstream media and the people that were in the previous administration. And to see this complete 360 is crazy, and it's awesome. In accord with the PWG's report recommendations, I've directed the commission staff to direct clear and simple rules of the road for crypto asset distributions, custody and trading for public notice and comment. While the commission staff works to finalize these regulations, the commission and its staff will in the coming months consider using interpretive exemptive and other authorities to make sure that archaic rules and regulations do not smother innovation and entrepreneurship in America. Many of the Commission's legacy rules and regulations do not make sense in the 21st century, let alone for on-chain markets. The Commission must revamp its rulebook so the regulatory moats do not hinder progress and competition from both new entrants and incumbents to the detriment of Main Street. I mean, what a friggin' headline. I know the crypto week was the other week, but arguably this is gonna... Everybody suddenly paying attention. Everybody that's in traditional finance is suddenly having to look at... This means they're gonna have to look at crypto to see where the opportunities are. And we've seen stocks absolutely rip. We've seen crypto have like a decent little bit of a run, right? But again, it's been mostly in majors. People talking about this altcoin run, everything else. You know, we've had like 3-4 days of like kind of stagnant market action. We'll see. Does this re-spark things that were going on? So we highlighted the other day about Jamie Dimon now working with Coinbase and suddenly being like, oh, we like crypto, even though before they're like, I'm not touching any of that stuff. So here was him back in 2013.
He's been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, etc.
Wait,
He pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case. Because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously, and because it doesn't go through, as you mentioned, all these systems have built up over many years, know your customers, sanctions, OFAC, they can bypass all of that. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
Okay.
You know, he says he's going to close it down. Now he wants to work on the rails and get all your funds and fees. He's absolute crooks, eh? Unbelievable. Yo, Distress Pick, a long time no see. How we doing? How we doing, brother? I heard GG was the new fart coin. Man, we went over it the other day, but guys, the accusations and the stuff that's coming out of like Pixel Vault, the team leaving over certain stuff. I mean, like G-Funk getting removed as CEO, that has gone down an absolute rabbit hole. And Dave Ramsey, somebody that was super against Bitcoin, what does he have to say about it now?
Okay, so if a new country pops up somewhere and they have a new currency, it's the same thing as Bitcoin. It doesn't make it cool because it doesn't make it more stable or more palatable or a better investment because it's technology based and because you think people can spell blockchain and actually describe what a blockchain is, which is an interesting concept. But until it stabilizes, and it ain't stable, boys and girls, it's like riding the worst roller coaster that went off the rails at Six Flags. The one that's on the news where you were left hanging upside down at Six Flags. That one, right? You know? And your mother's throwing up and all that, right? That's the one we're talking about here. This is not good.
For some people, that's fun, apparently, though.
I know.
Use a little fun money on that.
That's right. So I'm going to put a little of my money on this. But, you know, chart the volatility of Bitcoin and then smile at me with a serious face and tell me this is a solid investment. And I'll tell you, you're smoking crack. Okay?
Yo, tell me you're late without telling me you're late. And these are the things, right? There's so many different things of people having like a negative connotation, not being in the space whatsoever. And how do you get your foot in the door? There's so many commentators out there that have like perspectives and share things. And sure, we've had up and downs in markets, but you can see inflation within dollars. You've seen other countries getting absolutely crushed by things. I mean, it's just, it's funny, these takes. It's insane. Ramsey said he wouldn't take $1 billion 0% loan, so he's old. Yeah, he's people. Unbelievable. So RecDrinks did this thing with Binance, which somebody spent $17,000 to buy these drinks. Binance deleted the tweet about it. And I don't know if that's because it's sold out or whatever, but holy shit. People, are we having the resurgence of Web3 based brands? We've seen obviously success with Pudgy Penguins, Rect Brands really breaking it through. We're seeing art. I mean, we saw Justin Aversano, the Twin Flames photography NFTs are starting to get a bid today. We're going to go over some other side ones in a second. We got LeBron James over on Top Shot, another $16,000 sale. And remember, these are just like fun collectibles on top of the fact that they're now moving all markets on chain. I mean, past 24 hours has had some interesting headlines that we continue. So play Solana. Have you guys seen this? I'm confuzzled, and I would love your help on this. So let's go through it. It's time. The Play Solana X Pudgy Penguins limited edition GameBoy is now live. So is this like an official Nintendo Game Boy? Are they just using the name for it? What is it? So then you go and you check out the pre-order, and then it's $349, which, okay, that feels like a little bit expensive when I don't really know what else it offers. So let's see what we can find. So it's got a whole bunch of different things where it's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It's a hardware wallet. It's got 128 gig flash storage. So I mean, that is, it's a decent amount. 8 gigabytes of RAM. When you go to the products here, again, we just have that. First gaming console built on Solana. PSG-1 is a retro futuristic handheld gaming device designed to redefine Web3 gaming. Combining the power of nostalgia of the classic Game Boy with cutting-edge computing technologies, this Android-based console delivers a powerful, mobile-like platform for a premium gaming experience more than just a device. PSG-1 serves as the ultimate distribution hub for Solana Web3 games with the built-in crypto hardware wallet and fingerprint sensor. PSG-1 enables a secure and seamless experience for the modern Web3 gaming economy models. Okay. So, admittedly, reading that, I'm like, okay, I can see the potential. Now, I'm somebody that saw all of the excitement around the first Solana phone, so I bought the second one, basically purely for the airdrops. I don't need a phone, but I was like, okay, people were saying you basically got the thing for free. We bought it, it was almost like 2 years ago, whenever the hell it was, and it's supposed to be shipping in 4 days. So I don't know whether to open this phone. I don't know whether to try to resell it to somebody. I don't know if we're going to get airdrops for it continually or what the thought is. But this is also kind of neat because when we talk about games out there, we had this problem at a point where for the app stores, getting crypto native games in them were a problem. Well, if you have a specific device for ones, that's interesting. But how easy is it to get these games on there? Is it going to be a challenge? Is the memory going to get sucked up immediately? What exactly does this kind of look like? So I'm intrigued by this. But the only thing that I'm like a little weird about is like, why do you call it a Game Boy? Like, why are we just taking that name? Why are we taking that name? So limited edition, again, they're having Pudgy. Oh, and there was some other thing where they were going to burn. Yeah, for every PSG-1 sale, we will buy and burn Pengu. So there's also that incentive for Pengu holders out there, which is kind of neat. So I've highlighted this before in the past. It's been like extraordinarily slow moving. So I got to preface it with this. But if you're interested in what Ripple's doing with Ripple Custody, there is a blockchain called Otto Blockchain that is making it. Okay, so let me pause for a second. The past few streams, I've gone on like, megalodon rants over shit. And more specific, JJ and AJ, what's going on? And the rants have stemmed a lot from what's going on within the UK, and apparently in the US, this is something that's happening as well, where now AI is going to detect if you are somebody who's under the age of 18, and the Online Safety Act in the UK is for younger people to not to access certain sites. But then the fact that like YouTube's doing it, I'm like, well, they have YouTube Kids. YouTube doesn't really have any like bad content to begin with. Like it's just not a platform that has that. And it's like, what the hell is going on? And so if we're going to a future where basically you need to KYC for every single application that you do in a way, right? And KYC is more of a crypto term than the traditional one, but it's, verifying your age and whatnot. This is something that I think is interesting because the concept with this is that you KYC once and they kind of know who you are, but then you're able to go out in this DeFi landscape and use all of the apps under one single profile. And so this is the first blockchain that's connected with Ripple Custody, that's connected to a whole bunch of banks, right? This is the whole thing with Ripple and their advertising and the DeFi storm and the, what's the counterparty risk, making sure that you're not buying or exchanging money with people that potentially have, more aggressive criminal records and whatnot, because that's a big problem within banking and money in general. I'm very interested with this. Again, this is very, very, very early stages. But again, Otto Blockchain is something that I think is worth paying attention to if you're somebody that kind of agrees with me of, hey, this is all sort of weird, and that's something that's going down on the crypto front. Have you looked into world.org for proof of humanity via the iris scan? Seems similar to this. I feel like scanning your eyes a little bit different than giving your ID, but it does feel that we're getting more to the proof of humanity and everything else. And not to spoil the last tweet that we have, but I mean, here we go. Bots now account for over half of the global internet traffic. So OpenSea also made an announcement today where they said we've canned a whole bunch of bots. We've removed people that are like Sybil farming and everything else. So there is just kind of the dead internet theory that people are talking about. It does seem like that's coming to fruition. So Agent Chud here, my dad's friend texted me this. So JJ Gane, Distress Pickle, I'm Tali. I'm ready for your guys' thoughts on this. So, good morning. My brother is looking, and this is it. Imagine you get this text from your dad's friend. Good morning. My brother is looking to do something in crypto as he doesn't have a lot of money, but this is what he sent me, and I wanted to get your thoughts. I would like to buy 2 or 3 different types. If I buy $300 of XRP now at $3.15 and it goes to $10,000 each, where the experts say it needs to be to operate, that's $1 million in retirement for me. It seems like a wise gamble. $300 isn't a lot to lose, but if it goes to $10,000, I can sell a third and hold the rest. What do you think? So I want to... I want to like assume that this is like sort of a joke, but I've seen at the same time where there's legitimately people that are having their headlines and talking about XRP to $1,000 and everything else. And I'm like, guys, we're at $3.15. How the hell is it going to get to $10,000 within your lifetime? And that's a good question. So if we do CoinGecko crypto compare, let's do, I mean, I don't know if I can even like do this, but like, let's just do like XRP if it was the same as Bitcoin. So if XRP was the #1 cryptocurrency in the world right now with a market cap of 2.3 trillion, it would be at $40. And these guys are talking like, it's just, I understand that we use headlines, clickbaits, and try to, emphasize, hey, potentially this is a great deal. But when we have genuine people that are like sort of looking at the industry and then they like genuinely believe those price things, I'm like, yeah, to be honest, I don't know about that one. You know what I'm saying? Would also help solve the bot problem, but they're partnering with Reddit and Match. Oh, they're partnering with Reddit. Really interesting. World App Compare also with your passports, kind of like KYC. Hell yeah, that's cool. So yeah, Distress Pickle, that's what we're looking at just in this. Again, I mean, so this would have to be, I mean, for $40, if we times it by 100, that's 4,000. So we would, so 2 trillion times, what the hell is 2 trillion times 100? Is that 100 million? Yeah. So it'd be 200 trillion plus, right? Like that's, so it'd be like 400 trillion? Right? I'm not going to math on the fly here, but the likelihood of that happening is just not there. It's just not there. But man, these are real things. That's crazy. They think we're already multi-planetary economy. Unreal. Remember when NFT projects are dropping paid stickers on Telegram? So yeah, I mean, we talked about it. We had CyberConks. We had Bored Ape Yacht Club. We had Moonbirds. We had... trying to think of who else was on there. We saw almost like every just major collection do Telegram stickers. And then we haven't heard a single word about it. Why is it that in crypto something's a headline for a day and then nobody ever talks about it again? It's absolutely unreal. All right, we got Smoot here again. Are you guys out there on Flow? Are you seeing the new Top Shot? From Smoot, vibe I get from Disney Pinnacle right now is the same vibe I felt just before Brian Windhorst wrote that article about Top Shot and things went crazy. Brian Windhorst is like an ESPN analyst for NBA, massively followed and helped push the narrative back in the day. Whenever the Pinnacle marketplace opens, it feels like everyone is there trying to position like mad for what's to come. The only comment I'd have with this is we had such a long stretch where nobody really talked about Disney Pinnacle. People were participating in the drops. I think all of them were pretty much sold out. But for months, go back to the beginning of this year, not a soul was talking about Disney Pinnacle. And now all of a sudden, it is the hottest narrative you can probably find within the crypto space. Now, a couple weeks ago, I feel like it was probably around the Pudgy Penguins time when we obviously Pengu was going. That was the narrative. But we continually to change, and things that are quiet suddenly become large. That's why we're watching what's going on. 200 ETH. Would you like 200 ETH or would you like this other side deed? That's my drum roll. Yeah, I'd probably take the 200 ETH. But with that being said, $750,000 being used on this other deed. We don't even know what these are going to offer. This is my only complaint. I'm like, hell yeah, we love the speculation, but going for 3 artifacts, whatever the hell it is, $750,000 on it, that just seems absolutely mental for something that is a speculative thing when we have like one experience that is currently live on that platform. Distress Pickle, I know you're going to remember this. Former OpenSea employee Nate Chastain alleges in court documents that CEO Devin Finzer used confidential company information about upcoming announcements for personal gain. We were so close to getting to that OpenSea token drop with no issues. And then this drops. Are you kidding me? So the Finzer person, I don't know if they've actually said anything. Earlier today, I think they commented on like the big news out of the US. But what's crazy about this is you read that headline, you're like, okay, well, you mean that seems pretty bad, right? But then, boom, U.S. Appeals Court overturns NFT insider trading conviction of ex-OpenSea exec Nathaniel Chastain. Oh, now listen. To pause for a second and give just a broad take, I feel like everybody was so against this before, and while yes, it was super crummy, we have criminals that are doing the craziest shit in person. That's very much harming people, if not killing them. And I'm like, you know what? Can we focus on the problems that actually matter versus this guy maybe making an extra $5,000-$10,000 or whatever on some NFTs getting listed on OpenSea back in 2021? Listen, hands in the air, I'm just saying. But it does show that this administration again is looking out for things. What the hell happens for OpenSea within this debacle? I don't know. Is there anything more to come? Is it simply a fine and then you're off to the races and that's it? I have no idea. But of course, you can't have anything good in crypto without it just going bah. But again, reminder, bots now account for over half of global internet traffic. So that makes you special, that you are not a bot. You are here. You are educating yourself and having fun while doing it, at least hopefully. That's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Distress Pickle, love seeing you. Thank you so much for coming through, boss. JJ Kanej, appreciate you chiming in on the chat as well. Hope you guys are doing good. And Imtali, here early as per usual. We'll be back tomorrow. And don't forget, if you're wanting more content, don't forget to check out the page, or if you're following on YouTube, in the link down below or in my bio on X, we do the RWA SegMints podcast. This past week, or I guess this week, we had Mr. Ray Buckton on, and it's crazy because we were talking specifically about how they now have RWA data feeds, and so when you have off-chain information of what a asset is trading at, how do you bring that off-chain? And that's something that they've developed. They've started bringing across, and now we got that big news in the US, so we'll see what RWA.world has bringing to the space. Get to hear from him. He's the head of research. Super good conversation. Thank you again, guys, for coming on through. Have yourself a good one. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.